Welcome back. There is a live look outside from the Oregon coast. That's a beautiful view there from our Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. The scary reality is that every 3 minutes a child is injured or killed in a car crash. But many of these tragedies could be prevented through the proper use of car seats. Here to share some mistakes you may be making without even knowing it, we welcome child passenger safety engineer Suzanne Johansson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure you find all the time that parents and caregivers might be making mistakes without even knowing it, even with the best of intentions, right?
That is correct. It is. These are mistakes that are very easy. They could be easy to miss, right? There's a lot of information in both vehicle manual and in car seat manual. And the effort here today is to discuss the best practices to make sure that there's peace of mind when you're installing a car seat.
Well, and especially thinking about the littlest babies and those big bucket seats, installation can be kind of overwhelming. And I think even before a kid gets in the car, that's where you've got to start thinking about safety, right?
Correct. And it could even be the family that's coming home from the hospital. You're prepared for that moment. You're going to welcome your baby into the new world. We can go ahead and get our car seat checked by a child passenger safety technician prior to the baby's arrival. So it's an important time to make sure that that piece is well understood and installed in your vehicle before you take that daunting drive home. And that's just one thing that we can get off the list as well.
That's a great idea. Do it before you're completely sleep deprived and losing brain cells by the minute. Well, and what about keeping kids rear facing for as long as possible? That's super important too.
It is. Now, the reason for that is, again, because babies are, when they're born, their head, is quite heavy and their neck muscles have yet to develop. So state to state, you're going to find differences in terms of the child passenger safety laws, but from a best practice approach, children should rear face until they're 2 or even until they outgrow that car seat. And some car seat manufacturers will tell you what the weight is in which your child will outgrow that car seat. And that's the best recommendation to keep them safe every ride, every time in your vehicle.
What should we look for once they're strapped in terms of the harness and where things are clipping? Are there certain easy checks we can make?
There's a lot of great tips here on that. The first thing is when the child is in the harness, take a minute to do the pinch test. So what you're looking to do is at the shoulder height of the child, see if you can pinch the webbing. And if you can collect it between your 2 fingers, then that means that we need to tighten the harness a little bit further. The objective is you don't want to be able to pinch that webbing. And also, let's make sure kids are not in coats or any kind of puffy clothing underneath that harness. We want it nice and tight to the bony structure of their shoulders as well as their pelvis. Then the next thing is also the chest clip, where it is on the chest. It should be at about that armpit height as well.
You mentioned all those thick, heavy coats in the wintertime. It can be kind of a pain, but it's such a worthy investment of your time to take the extra couple of minutes and make sure that they're safe in that seat without all those extra layers.
Correct. And in fact, take the coat off and you can use it as a blanket over top of them in the car seat. It's very simple. You could even also use a blanket if you desired, but if we're bringing a coat along with us on the ride, take that off before we fasten the child into the harness and then set it over top of them.
What should we think about in terms of graduating to a booster seat and how long we should be in those?
So booster seats are really, I think they're used a little too soon. I've seen it myself too, because the car drop-off lines and pickup lines at school, it really accelerates getting kids out the door very quickly. First of all, boosters go up to about 100 pounds, and it's really important that the child has first and foremost outgrown each of the phases. So when you outgrow rear facing, you move to forward facing. When you outgrow forward facing, you move to the booster. Let's start with the high back booster, making sure that the child can have the proper shoulder belt routing in the clip on the side of the booster, and the lap belt is nice and low on the lap and the hip bones of the child. Now, this is helpful to keep kids in that seat through the whole ride by having the high back booster. Most kids are being pushed out of the booster too soon, again, as I mentioned, because those school drop-off lines, and we want to keep them in that longer until they are able to be in what's called the seat belt fit test themselves, right? So following the seatbelt fit test, you might find that in your vehicle owner's manual. That's how you know whether the child is of the right stature to go into the vehicle belt or if they should go back to the booster longer.
And quickly, we should also be keeping kids in the back seat for longer as well, right?
That's correct. And I will also comment, I see that a lot too as a mother of two children as well. Keeping them in the rear seat and under the age of 13, that is the safest place for them to be. The front passenger seat is not a place for children, especially with the airbag there. So, rear seat always on every trip. Even if it's around the corner and it's a short ride, keep them in the rear seat.
We know you have lots of resources to share. We're going to post more on our website as well. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Great, thank you very much. And please find a local technician near you. You could find one by your zip code at events.safekids.org.
Perfect, and we'll have that link as well at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.